Hello everyone, welcome to Percussionology. Today I wanted to talk about some of the perceptions of sound with percussion equipment, specifically the marimba, and talking about stroke types and what visually, usually sometimes we do as percussionists in order for people to hear what we want them to hear. So a comment I always hear a lot from band directors and people teaching percussion is pulling the sound out of the instrument. This comment is something that is, I feel, a easy, quick fix in order to get students to understand how to lift off the instrument and maybe get a different sound, when reality is the way you lift off of a percussion instrument has absolutely nothing to do with the sound of the instrument. However, it is how it can be perceived from somebody on the outside. So, for example, if I play two notes using two different kinds of strokes, can you tell a difference in what it sounds like? Here's the first one. So we would normally in percussion call that a downstroke. Now, I'm going to do the exact same note, but a little bit different. Did it sound different? If you go back to the first one and you watch it with your eyes closed and you listen to the second one with your eyes closed, you will realize that both notes sound exactly the same. However, what I'm doing is I am basically manipulating your brain to think that the second note is actually longer than the first. The instrument, no matter what I do, will sound that long. Now, what we actually want to be able to try to teach the students is how to lift off the instrument so that we can get a more fluid stroke. And this is just a full stroke. So getting the student to lift off the instrument is starting in the up position, striking the note, and returning to the up position. Now, if you want it to look a little bit more lyrical, we can do something where the student basically downstroke the note and then just slowly picks it up, and it will sound like it elongates the sound. So if you want something to be perceived as longer, there's things that the students can do in order to make this kind of more of a interpretation of visual need, we'll say. This is more of just an interpretation of what we want it to sound like visually. It really has nothing to do with the sound of the instrument at all. So the important question is, when you're having your students play, is does it sound the way you want it to with your eyes opened or eyes closed? If it doesn't sound the way you want it to after kind of going through that process, the better question is, are they using the appropriate stroke type? Are they actually getting a harsh sound by hitting the instrument extremely hard? Are they using a correct implement? Is it too hard? Is it too soft? What is their beating area actually on the instrument? And this can be anything, not just marimba, but if I hit closer to the note, I'm going to get a different sound than playing in the center of the note. Those are getting more resonant sounds. That really has nothing to do with the stroke type itself, and actually has very little to do with the kind of mallet that you're actually using. This can be the case for bass drum, this can be the case for mallets, it can be the case for timpani. A lot of it has to do with bad playing areas and has to do with maybe inappropriate mallet selection that you're using for the style of music that you're going for, if it's something lyrical versus something that's more rhythmic and staccato. So when you're actually asking your student to pull the sound out of the instrument, is it something that you want them visually to do, or are you actually looking for a different sound from the instrument? And if you're not sure, close your eyes and see how it blends with the band, and then maybe experiment with some different mallets. But again, what they're doing visually has very little to do with the sound that they're actually producing on the instrument visually. So this is just something to think about when you're actually listening to your percussionist in the back of the room. What does it look like? What does it sound like? See if you can disseminate between the two. Then if you're actually trying to get them to play technically more correct, then you're revisiting the 4 basic strokes and talking about what a full stroke is, what a downstroke is, your tap strokes, and your upstrokes. I'm going to go into more detail on that in the future about the 4 basic strokes and how we can apply that to music and what that does as far as playing with a more even sound and getting a more smooth stroke and making your students look a little less awkward behind the instrument. Hope my comments have been helpful, everyone. I really hope it's helping everybody out there. And again, if you have any questions, you can email me at percussionology@gmail.com. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm going to be adding some stuff on there. And then once again, like, subscribe, and reach out, ask questions. I want to be as helpful as I can. So again, thank you and have a great day.